This is an electric locomotive. Unlike every locomotive that I've ever made in Roblox, this particular locomotive and sets are actually from a game. This is the HSE-10, also known as Sunset. This video will go over pretty much how I built it and incorporate it into my own lore, or well, my fictional railroad. Alright, on to the part of just me building the model. So I did say at the beginning of this video that I built it based off of the game version, and you're probably wondering, what game am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about Open Transport Tycoon, also known as OpenTTD. This game I've played for almost as long as it's been a thing. This game came out in about 2004, and I pretty much played it as a baby, I think, or just a young kid, around that area. But still, the point still stands. I've played this game for over a decade. If you're looking to play this game, the HSE-10 train set is not in the base game. You have to download a new GRF, which is basically a mod. You can find that in the Check Online content, and the new GRF is called the North American Passenger Railroad. Anyways, back to the train. On screen here you can see a bunch of HSE-10 train sets going across a junction. Now it's sped up by 300%, so it's pretty fast, but you can still make an idea of what it looks like with the red, white, and blue American flag. Speaking of American flag, the HSE-10 has a bald eagle on one of the coaches, which is automatically applied apparently, but it's still pretty cool. Building this was pretty hard, I won't lie, as well. The HSE-10 is not real, but also I'm going off of literal pixels as a train. Yeah, Open Transport Tycoon is quite literally just a pixelated train game. Well, not really a train game, a transport game. But I mainly use trains in that game, so you could basically call it a train game. To my surprise, despite development being difficult, it took only 2 months for me. And this is a time where, well, I was quite busy. So building out new models, I mean, I'm still busy today, but building models was interesting considering I had to allocate time towards it. And I technically had to build 2 versions, as there's the single level and then there's bi-level, which if you could actually pinpoint it, I did single level first, then I rolled up bi-level because honestly, bi-level was quite difficult. Due to the fact that this is not real, but I'm also dealing with a literal pixelated train, I technically had a little bit of freedom to customize how it looked, and in the end, I think it looks pretty good. The HSE-10 came to be due to the failures of 2 unique trains, the CR5800 and the CR99. These 2 were technically the first electric train sets, but they were not the first electric train sets to stay long enough. So a replacement was needed. The GR Railroad looked to possibly have a partnership with 2 manufacturers, Siemens and Alstom. These 2 would work together to create a one-of-a-kind train set. Though technically speaking, the HSE-10 is actually just the locomotive, not the train set. The GR Railroad wanted them as train sets, yes, however, they wanted the locomotives to be able to couple up to anything, as well as the train sets. Think of it as the train sets are semi-permanently coupled together, except for the ends, so basically any locomotive can pick the train sets up, as well as the fact that the HSE-10 locomotives can pick anything up. Production started in 2021, and deliveries began in late 2022 or early 2023. With the sets and locomotives pretty much already on GL Railroad territory, tests began and eventually they ran in service. But for what service? Well, initially they ran a service between San Diego and Los Angeles. This was just a temporary measure between the California High-Speed Rail stuff, but eventually the California High-Speed Rail in this universe pretty much opened, and these trains would actually be what would actually run on the California High-Speed Rail. Here's pretty much every appearance of the HSE-10. The HSE-10 locomotives are equipped with a Nathan hybrid K5LA. This is because the GR Railroad wanted some form of unison with high-speed trains. Pretty much there are only two types of high-speed trains, the HSE-10 locomotives, and well, the Pacifica, which is run by Aliva. All in all, the HSE-10 is a pretty unique locomotive as, well, aside from anyone playing OpenTTD, has only been seen by me. It honestly makes a good addition to my fictional railroad in terms of me building it and incorporating it into the lore, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you about this pretty unique train. I hope you found it somewhat interesting, at least. I'm kidding, my low expectations. Anyways, see ya.